Good morning from High Point Market. We're here with Dennis Hendricks of Eichholtz, and we've got some exciting things to talk about that are going on at the company. Dennis, welcome.
Thank you very much.
So I'm going to just kick it off by saying one of the most intriguing comments that I've heard at market so far is that Eichholtz is an alternative to RH. Now that's a big statement, so let's break that down. First of all, let's talk about your product assortment.
Yeah. So what we currently showcase, and I think that for me personally, if I look at the history and how we present ourselves here in the US, this time, if you look at the showroom and you do the walkthrough, I get the exact same feeling that I get overseas, walking throughout the showroom that we have in headquarters. And I think that's a big accomplishment of the team overseas that comes over to make sure that everything is on display in the right way with the flowers and the colors and all that stuff. So it's really, really well done. And the first takeout after the visitors came in yesterday, customers, it's awesome to see how they respond.
So I want to back up a little bit for anyone who might not be familiar with your company. Talk a little bit about Eichholtz and where you're from and why you're here.
Absolutely. We're from the Netherlands. That's where it all started. 33 years ago, Theo Eichholtz, who unfortunately passed away last year, the founder of the company, started the company by importing some cabinets from overseas. And before he even had the product in his hands, he already sold it. And he was like, wow, this is a great business case. And it's interesting. And before he knew it, he basically expanded the collection. And now we have a whole home solution for everyone. So we have accessories, we have upholstery, we have beds, we have basically everything to offer. So we can do a whole home as a furniture company.
Now, I think also, and we'll get to the second part of this in a minute, but I want to also mention where you're manufacturing because you've got some news about that as well. So talk a little bit about that.
Great question. Yeah, typically we do it overseas like most of our competitors and people in the industry do. But we decided lately to transition into a US production, and basically by coincidence I got to know a guy who is based here locally, a great guy,
Yeah.
Chris Morris, Fission, and we got well together, and basically we start talking about manufacturing here in the US because I'm a big fan of the whole manufacturing here in the US and try to bring that back. First and foremost because it's quality. It's also easy in terms of order fulfillment. And thirdly, I think that people really love the fact that it's completely manufactured in the US. And when I say that, it's like everything is sourced within a range of 80 miles, and that's like, it's a great story to tell.
It is a great story. So I love the Netherlands to High Point kind of connection. Yeah. But I think the other fascinating thing that you're doing is that you have your wholesale presence and working with the retailers and the designers, but then you also have your own retail presence, which is kind of growing by leaps and bounds. Talk about that.
No, absolutely. I think that if you look at the footprint that we had last year and what we see happening right now with the opening this week of Manhattan, first of all, in Chelsea, a branded store, looks fabulous. Long Island also. And what we try to aim for is basically find the right retailers that have a network in that demographics to be successful, because we believe that local entrepreneurship will make the difference for us long term, to build up relationships or already have relationships with those local designers and consumers to fulfill those needs.
I think you hit the nail on the head with relationships, because anyone who's been in the industry for a while knows that you've got to have those relationships to make the connection. And so while right now, most of the retail stores you've opened are in major metropolitan areas, there's an underlying theme to all of them that involves listening. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's a good one, because I think, and we as a company truly believe that, the future of the company depends on the feedback of our customers. In the end, that will determine if you're successful or not, right? So what we typically did, and a great example is the City line, which we introduced this market,
Yes.
which is a big success and well received overseas as well. Basically listening to the customer. Our customer in Miami, the store, the gallery that we have there, they came back to me during a monthly check-in that I have with them to talk about the business, events, and all that stuff. They basically addressed the fact that they had a huge customer, but they couldn't fulfill the order with the upholstery sofa simply because it was too big. So size became an issue, but instead of looking at and maintaining to develop those same sofas and skills, we got back to the drawing table and we basically came up with the City line as a solution for that issue, but also to serve our customers in the metropolitan, I would say, cities, to serve them also well. And again, if you look at the response yesterday already, it's awesome to see how they respond to simply changing the skill of the best-selling sofas, and you're good to go.
Well, you know, you've got a fascinating story, and it's an evolving story. We're going to continue to cover it. So stay tuned to Furniture Today for upcoming coverage that we're going to have with Eichholtz, including interviews with their CEO coming up very soon.